Good afternoon and welcome to my Monday night look back at a classic rock album here on the Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, and this is a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So today's look back at a classic rock album will feature this album. See if I can get a good shot of it here somewhere. The Jimi Hendrix Experience, Are You Experience? Yeah, that's one hell of a psychedelic cover, isn't it? Yellow and purple inside of the album. Nice shots. I love the yellow disc. That's the one we're going to be talking about. There's a nice shot here on the back too. Inside back, that is. And then another one on the outside back of the three guys. One of the great rock bands of their time, which was very limited. You know, they only made 3 albums together. 67, 67, 68. So we'll do this one first because it's the one we're doing. Actually, I think I've done Axis Bold as Love. I'm pretty sure I have. So this album came out May the 12th, 1967. Their first one, Are You Experienced? I'm trying to get a better view here where I'm not. Yeah, that looks like it might work there. Okay. So then you have it was released, was recorded at the Delaney Lea Studio at CBS and Olympic in London. About 38 minutes in length on the track, labeled, of course, by Chaz Chandler as the producer. So the album, I'm going to just down forward to the track listing. It's easier for me to see it. And of course, we all know that this is the band that features Jimi Hendrix on guitar and lead vocals, Noel Redding on bass. On this particular album, he only plays bass, but on the Axis Bold as Love one, he does do a song. He does sing a vocal song on that one. And Mitch Mitchell on the drums. So this is a fantastic album, as all of Hendrix's albums are. It's got basically 11 tracks on it, and on this particular volume of it, if you can see that, there are several bonus tracks. I just want to see with my glasses here how many bonus tracks you get with this volume. Yeah, there's like 6 extra bonus tracks on here. That's weird. Sorry, there's actually 6 extra bonus tracks. Just a bunch of stuff that Stone Free, Highway Chili, Can You See Me, Remember, and Red House are all at it. Plus there's a 51st anniversary. Now this also comes with a second disc. And maybe you can see this. This is the purple disc. Yeah, I'll turn it right side up so you can actually read it. There we are. Jimi Hendrix Experience, Are You Experienced? This is an extended part, talking mainly, an inside look at the album, really, just how it was made and that kind of stuff. So you get that with this album as well, and then of course you get this booklet, which basically is chronological the album. Some nice shots of them in here. I've done all of this on this week, my episode of this week. Another nice shot of them. Little kind of scratching of, I don't know if you can see that. Try to bring it over here a little bit. Yeah, maybe it's got to go to the other side. Let's see if we can get her. Anyways, it's Purple Haze. His writing of Purple Haze. Take it to the Marquee Club. He played October 2nd. On October 20th and 21st, they had other bands, Long John Baldry, 10 years after, Neat Change, Open Mind, The Action. Yeah, there's a nice shot of Noel Redding on the bass there. Just like, so it's a really cool booklet. It talks a bit about the making of the album and about the Hendrix Experience. And believe me, that is a real experience. Okay, so on this album, I don't need my glasses for this part. He has 11 tracks that come with the original release, and I'm just going to talk about them. I won't talk anything about the bonus tracks because they weren't on the original album. So you got Foxy Lady. This is one of his big songs. Pretty heavy song for the time period, yeah. Lots of heavy riffing. The drum part is really strong. Like Mitch Mitchell is doing the almost John Bonham thing here. And the track is one of my favorite Hendrix tracks of all time. There's a wonderful thing about Hendrix too is that I never owned this album before. I owned Bold as Love, and I actually think I might have had this on cassette, but it wasn't a very good cassette. But anyways, the good thing about a lot of these songs you're going to hear on the radio anyways, because this album especially is just proliferated on the record, on the album, on the radio quite a bit. The next one is Manic Depressive, or Depression. Another really cool song. Loved this song a lot when I was younger. I love the heaviness of the song, the kind of dark matter that he's talking about here. Just a real tripping song, if you know what I mean. Anyways, really cool. I like that. Then you got Red House. There's a red house over yonder. Kind of a bluesy track, but with some fantastic guitar riffing on it. I think it's one of his most iconic songs. It may not be one of the one that people come to right away, but definitely once you hear it and you've heard it a few times, it starts to stick in your claw, or in your craw, I guess. Can You See Me? This is a track that is more of a deep cut. You don't hear this as much on the radio. In fact, I don't know that I've ever heard this song on the radio. I can't recall ever hearing it on the radio, but it's a cool song. It rocks, and kind of reminds me of that song, If I Don't Live Today, which is, I believe, also on this album. Yeah, it's on this album. Comes at the end of this side. So these are on sides, of course, because this was released in '67. So even though it's on a disc, everything's on one. Of course, you know that it was on vinyl originally, so it was a side A and a side B, or a side 1 and a side 2 in this case. The next song, Love or Confusion. I'm not as big a fan of this particular track. I never really warmed up to it too much. It's a good track, I guess, for the most part. It's just not one of the ones that I go to or listen to or have any kind of affinity towards. And of course, the last track on this side, I Don't Live Today, the live version is amazing. This track is really good. He's like, it's kind of like Manic Depression, really dark topic here, dark song. Guitar is really good and riffing. He does do some of the solo parts that here, but he really revs it up on the live albums quite a bit. Yeah, this is a super great song. One of the dark, to me, it's a deep cut. Even though it has had airplay on the radio and at times, I think of it as more of a deep cut and one of the best tracks on the album. I don't know if it's my favorite song on this album, but it's right near there. It's right near the top. Okay, so then the flip side, not as memorable as the front side, but still pretty good. May This Be Love, cool song for what it is. Fire, of course, is that heavy riffing song. Just fast-paced, great guitar parts. Jimmy's vocals, which I think are underrated. Jimi Hendrix could sing, man. He had a voice that was distinctive. He knew how to put the songs together. Yeah, and he was also a great lyricist. And if you read the lyrics on the songs, really deep topics and lots of. He put it in a way that was really cool to listen to. I've always been a fan of his vocals. I've always been a fan of his lyrics. And of course his guitar, was the thing that he's primarily known by, but he was good at all these things. So after Fire comes The Third Stone from the Sun, another cool track, another deep cut, cool song for what it is. I like that too. Remember, this is another really pretty strong track. Just, sorry, I'm fiddling with the wrong computer. Okay, and then of course it ends with the great Are You Experience. Yeah, that heavy riffing and drum part. Maybe the best part of this whole album is just that opening part of Are You Experienced, where he just really kind of hammers away. And I love the lines in this song are great. The whole experience, of course, Are You Experienced, really good, and this is the title track of the album, of course. This album is very psychedelic. I think of it as being progressive. There's stuff in here you just don't hear anywhere else at this time period. And so for me, it's a very progressive album in that sense of the word. And hence the reason why I'm attracted to Hendrix. Because I'm always attracted to progressive rock. So anything that's very progressive, I will notice. And there's a lot of really progressive stuff on this. And as there is on some of the other stuff. But more so on this album. Probably because this is the first one. And therefore, it was new to everybody. A lot of people were taken in by this. They just couldn't believe what they were hearing. His guitar tone and his guitar playing was something out of this world. Nobody was doing this at the time. I know people, I've heard people say, oh, it wasn't that great. There's lots of guys doing that and stuff. Yeah, but he was doing it before those guys even existed. He was the one that made that possible. How can you deny that? If he had the kind of stuff that the people have nowadays, who the hell knows what he would have done? I'm pretty sure that if he had continued in music, he would have been considered one of the greatest, and he's already considered one of the greatest rock stars of all time, but he would have produced some stuff that was absolutely legendary. As it is, these stuff are really legendary as it is, but he would have continued along that phase, I'm almost sure of it. The stuff he could have come up with, he was actually offered a place to play with Emerson, Lake and Palmer at one point, but it wasn't a fit, or he couldn't fit it in, and it didn't work out. So unfortunately, that would have been a great marriage, I think. Anyways, so there you have it. Are You Experience by the Jimi Hendrix Experience is the look back at the classic rock album this week. Great album. Can't say enough accolades about it. So many good things about it. It's just like the guitar, the bass, the drums are all really solid here. The musication, how do I say it? The songwriting is really fantastic. The lyrics are great. Like the whole album is just really catchy as hell, with lots of different sounds that you weren't getting from any other band at that time. Maybe a little bit from the Beatles, or maybe quite a lot from the Beatles, but not like this. Different. This is much heavier. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. It's much appreciated. And we'll be back next Monday night with another classic rock album. So enjoy your Hendrix Experience. Give this album a listen to if you got it, or go online and listen to it. Fantastic. The other thing about this I didn't say is like the extra tracks are nice too. So have yourself a good evening and take care. Goodbye.